Hello guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have always wanted to have something like this that you are seeing on the screen right now, please watch this video to the end so you can learn how you can achieve this. Though this video is my old video that I have to edit, you can still learn one or two things from it. Please don't forget to like. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Tell me what you think about this video on the comment section. If you don't understand any part, please let me know in the comment section. I will do my best to explain it to you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Draft it because I needed to finish this on time, but I'm going to be putting you through on how I come up with this. I want to, first of all, you determine the how off you want it. So for me, I want it to be 6 inches off, right? So I place my tape rule, marking half an inch up this way. That will be my guideline because this half an inch later on will still be my seam allowance, right? So I place my tape rule on it this way from 6 inches that I want it to be off. So I started from this 6 inches this way. This half an inch up will later serve as my seam allowance for the upper part, right? To sew it. However, you get to understand that when I want to sew it, you understand that. So I now measure down my chest. In this video, I will be using 8 inches for my chest, then 10 inches for my bust point, then my under bust 14 inches, and my waist is 16. Then I added this pattern, right? That's what I'm having here. So I just made this line now straight, right? So we'll label it now. Since this is where our off shoulder point is, so I will label this as S, right? Then on this line now, this is our chest line, then this is our bust point, our bust line, then this is our under bust, right? And this is our waist. So now I measure my nipple to nipple, which is, I use here, my nipple to nipple is 3.8 plus half an inch to join it, right? And I make use of 4.3. So this is 4.3. Then I make it a straight line with my straight ruler to my bust line. Then I come in for the dart intake. I come in here half an inch, then go out 1.5 inches, right? So I come in half an inch this way, half an inch to on this point. Then I go out 1.5 inches on the other bust and on the waistline. So in total that intake is 2 inches, right? So I just use a straight ruler this way. Then I come down 1 inch for my bust point, 1 inch down. Then I use straight ruler to connect this, and I'll make sure that this place is not sharp, right? Then I use a curve ruler to connect this to meet this. I also make sure that this place too is not sharp, right? Then the next thing to do, then this, what I have as my my nipple to nipple, I just add 1 inch to it, and that's what I have here. So I just add 1 inch to that here. As I mentioned earlier, my nipple to nipple plus the half an inch that we use, we're now having 4.3. So here I'm having 5.3. So this is it, 5.3 here. Then from this 5.3, I come in this way. 1 inch. Then I go out this way 75 an inch, right? Then I use a curve ruler to connect this in a way that this place will be curved, right? Give me a smooth curve this way. Then I use a straight ruler to connect this. So that's for my dart here. So now, to determine how you want it to be at your thickness at the upper part, what I did here is that I want it to be 9 inches wide at my chest. I want it to be 9 inches wide at my chest, right? So 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5, and that's what I have there. Then this dart, and I replace it here. So this dart now is what I have from here to here, which is, yeah, when I measure it here like this, I was having 1.7, right? So I replace the 1.7, which is here. Then from there I now measure 75 an inch, right? So that's the 75 an inch, and this is okay for me. Then I curve it this way, just curve it to meet this our chest line here, right? Just make a curve. Then on this chest line now, now I want to take the horizontal measurement. On this, I measure my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 9.25. Then this that I replace it. I use 1.5 inches, right? Then plus when I cut this off, I'm going to need 1 inch for the that to sew it back. So I measure it here this way. Then plus my size seam, which is 1.5. This is it here. So that's what I'm having here. Then coming down to my waist. My waist circumference divided by 4 is 7.5 plus 2 inches. So this is the 2 inches here. This one is to sew it back. So to sew it back is 1 inch. To sew it back seam allowance is 1 inch plus the dart intake of 2 inches, which is here, plus my 1.5 inches seam allowance, which is here. So this is what I have here. So I just use a straight ruler to connect it this way. So with this now, the front pattern is ready. So to cut my back pattern, I just make sure that the length is the same, right? So the length too is also the same. That is, the vertical measurements are all the same. So what I did here now is that first I measure my zip allowance of 1.5 inches this way. This is it, 1.5 inches this way. Then I remove 0.5 inch for my slant. So remove 0.5 inch here, then replace it here. So this become my original line now for my zip allowance. Then I connect it the way we slant our back, right? Then from here now, and I measure horizontally now. I measure my waist circumference, which is 7.5, plus my dart I will be taking from there 1 inch, which is 8.5, plus the 1.5 inches for my size seam. That's what I have there. Then at my chest line, I measure from here to with this line that I have here, my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 9.25, plus my size seam. That is all for there. So I just connect it this way. Then you remember that at the front we use 9 inches. We want it at the chest, we want it to be 9 inches wide, right? So that 9 inches divided by 2, which give us 4.5, which is what I have there. So after the 4.5, which is here, then remember that after the 4.5, then the dart intake that we took here, then we added 75 an inch, right? So that's what I did here too. So this is the 75 an inch here. So 4.5 plus 75 an inch, then I make a curve this way. So this front and back now is ready. So we are going to cut it out. So guys, after finish cutting this, I'm going to go ahead to cut these patterns on my fabric, iron my stay on there, cut them alongside the lining. So here is what we have after finish cutting it on my fabric. This is for the front and for the back, and for the down part is just my normal basic pattern. Then I cut it on my fabric, cut my lining alongside, made the lining short, right? So the way you cut your normal basic skirt, that's what you use and cut for this. So I'm just going to go ahead now to turn the down part with my lining, turn it, the main fabric with the lining, and I will be showing you the upper part, how I'm going to turn it. So the upper part, I'm going to open it up, then I will be sewing the dart, right? So this is for the front. I'm just showing the fact that I cut it alongside the lining. So I'll open this up now, and I'll be joining them right side face each other for both panels. Then sew it. You see that area that we cut. So just place them the way you see now, and that's what I'm going to use to sew it. And this is for the back. I'm also going to sew my dart line for the middle part, for this back part, then use the lining to turn the neck, the armhole, and the side. So this is what we have after finish turning it out. Yeah, and here is the lining. Here is the lining, right? So I make this. That's what I'm going to be using for the hand. So the next thing to do now, I'm going to be placing this on it this way. Then I'll be putting this right side face each other this way. Then I will pin it. I'll pin it on this place this way. And I'm going to go over to my sewing machine now. Sew it from here to this end here. So I'll go back to my sewing machine, sew it from this end this way to this end, and flip it out, top stitch on it, then sew this side too with my half an inch seam allowance too, right? So here is it. I've already sewn it now and top stitch on it as I mentioned before. So this is good to go now. Then I just give it a little press here. So, and here is the back too. I've also sewn it round, top stitch on the neck side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to sew this to the back. I'm going to align it this way. Then I will be placing it where exactly where it will be. So for example now, I'll just arrange it this way. This is where my zip will be, right? So I'll just arrange it this way, then make it flat like this. Then I'm going to place it like this and top stitch here. I don't want to sew it with the lining the way I sewed this, so that if you need any adjustment, I can easily make the adjustment, right? So I'll just go over to my sewing machine and place it like this, top stitch here. Do the same thing here too, right? Place it like this, then top stitch here where I want it to be, then top stitch here. Then this is the down part. I've also used the lining to turn it, right? So I also go back to my sewing machine too. I'm going to sew this now. I'll just place the right side face each other, then sew this, then do the back side to the same thing, right? So this is the zip side, so meaning is for this. So I'll go back to my sewing machine to top stitch this, so you can see that both darts are aligned here. So I'm going to go back to my sewing machine and sew it, and this is where my zip seam will be. You can see that I notched it and the both two align. So I'll just go to my sewing machine and flip it right side face each other, then top stitch on it, then place them right side face each other, the front and back. And I will be joining the side with my size seam allowance. And that's all for this tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.